Yes, welcome along to episode 9 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Johnny Dineen, counting down to the 2025 Cheltenham Festival. Happy New Year, Johnny.
Yeah,
it's our first
Happy New
one
Year, yeah.
of 2025. Did you stay up till 12 o'clock?
No, I didn't. I don't ever stay up till 12 o'clock. Not anymore, not since I was a young fella, not really, no. I'd say I was in bed about 10 o'clock. I just, you get a few texts for the Happy New Year, then I said, bang, turn off my phone in here for starters. I've enough of that.
You never replied to me. 12:01
I know, I reply in the morning then, you know what I mean? If I have a few in the morning, I said, Happy New Year, do you know what I mean? But I can't be looking at fellas texting you 10 to 12 and waking me up and everything. You know what I mean?
Tell me this, you wake up in the morning and your wife is beside you. I presume you're just in the same bed still, are you?
Yeah.
Well, your wife is beside you. Do you wish each other Happy New Year or not?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, you would. It wouldn't be a big thing for either of us now, I'd say. You know, it's another day, really, you know.
Tell me this, how was your week? Good?
Good, okay, yeah, not too bad.
It's better than poor old Tomo.
Oh, Tomo, yeah.
Tomo.
Was slating yesterday. That was actually funny. I couldn't stop laughing at that now, you see. I couldn't stop laughing at it. I like Tomo. He's a better old character now, to be fair.
Oh, he's a great character.
Yeah, but I had more of a showman, didn't he? Like, you know what I mean? Ho, 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 and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But,
he's coming again.
Yeah. Or he'd tell you you're on his 6 to 4 chance in the Yarmouth. Favourites in trouble, and he'd beat with about 2 furlongs. Favourites in trouble. I know that, Tom, with about 40 seconds.
But still, it was a bit of an overreaction. Like, a bit of perspective here. Commentator, can't find a horse. Like, it's not the end of the world. I know it's his job, but, I thought the reaction was a bit overboard.
Look, I suppose he's getting paid to do a job. He's not doing it that well at the same time. But I think, I don't even listen to commentators. I if I'm watching a race and I'm on a horse, I don't have to be told where it is. Do you know what I mean? Or if it's going to win.
So do you mute the commentaries?
Most of them, yeah.
Do you?
Most of them, yeah.
Wow.
Most of them, yeah.
Is that superstition or anything?
No, I mute a lot of them, yeah. A lot of them now.
Okay.
A hell of a lot of them, actually.
Oh.
Especially when it comes to the business end of a race.
Oh.
I can't be told, you listen to fellas saying, bounding away and all this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And you're on the second. You know that kind of stuff. Yeah. And in the 57th running of the, do you know this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Do you know what I can't stand in commentators? I like him to commentate and not try to be clever and tell you that they won a point to point in Lock'n'More in 2021 and all this rubbish. You know what I mean? This kind of stuff. I don't want to know that with 3 to jump when the one is happening off another one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's totally irrelevant of whether a horse has done something 2 years ago or whatever, you know what I mean? At that stage, if your race is in the melting pot, I just want your man to comment. I don't even want him to comment. I just want to be quiet, basically. So I just press the mute button then, you know what I mean? Some fellas as well. I notice a few commentators get a real graw for getting favourites beat, if one is in trouble. And Amy Vera Beyond knows, no. They really get, the octaves get up a few levels.
They get excited.
Oh, they do, yeah. When one looks like it's going to lose, And I invariably, I don't listen to anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Johnny doesn't even listen to commentaries. Let's go on with the show. So let's kick off with Johnny's week in review. How did he do for the first week of 2025? Have you exploded from the traps?
No, not an explosion. A tiny profit now. Very small. At least it's a plus of some description anyway,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it. It's not even a bet really, but I did win something, very little.
And if you won exactly the same for all 52 weeks of the year, would you have a good year?
No, I wouldn't actually. No, it was pretty minuscule money now, to be honest. Yeah,
Coffees and teas sort of stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't. As if I had a losing bet since, and I haven't had no bet yesterday, but if I did have a losing bet, I'd be gone behind for the year.
Okay, so let's start on a positive note. What was the high point of the week? The one result that got you kind of over the line?
Well, my first bet's very important. I find the first bet.
You told us that before,
I do, yeah. I know. I find my first bet's massive. And the first bet for me on Sunday was,
metaphorically massive.
Yeah, exactly. was Charismatic Soldier. Did you see that race? No?
How did that win?
Yeah, but it looked in dire trouble. But it's funny when they come out of the gloom.
Yeah.
I'm looking in it, and you're expecting the second horse.
Was it Go On Me Lad?
No, Me Lad. He's up the middle of the track.
Yeah.
The last time you see him, your man is chasing him, and you think you have a little chance the last time you see him. You know what I mean? So when they started coming out and the running, and I just said, he's beat. No, Me Lad has won. You know what I mean? Next year, spots this thing that you didn't even see over on the far side, and he's closing, and he got up. So that was.
So you probably love racing in fog now, do you?
Well, no. When you get a result like that, it was very important anyway. And it was my first bet, so it was.
I'd say that's straight up massive and running.
I wouldn't have said it was massive because you couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah, but it looked a well-beaten third the last time the camera was on them.
Well, it had gone into second.
Yeah, maybe.
And you could see from the backs of him that he was, and he had Bowen riding for you as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the last time you saw him was about 2 down, which is over 2 furlongs out. It's a bit of a run in there at the same time. So I wasn't dismissing him completely the last time I saw him, or anything like that. But it was a nice surprise all the same.
Okay. And what was the nasty one? What was the one that stung?
My first bet on New Year's Day, first bet in New Year, I backed on Liam, horse of the Brahmins, and
was that in Tremor?
Yeah.
Travelling and then
traveling all the way around, and I was saying I was delighted with it. Do you know what I mean? Delighted with lobbing along,
bang,
beautifully,
stopped.
jumping everything, and next thing you come into the dip, the more Coco, the horse that won the race, joined it, and you'd say whichever one it is. But it finished 5th, I'd say, the 5th or 6th. It finished nowhere in the finish. She just went out like that. But then I don't know. It's another reason why you find punting and the jumps especially hard nowadays. Horses like stables go in and out of form like in a flash. Do you know what I mean? Like you've seen. Like, okay, you'd like to see Mullins' horses struggling over Christmas. You see Nichols. Next thing, the Brahmins winning every race all of a sudden. Next thing, he gets to New Year's Day and his horses start running diabolical. Like, you know what I mean? He had Rachel something, 11 to 8 favourite in a maiden hurdle.
Even in the pocket,
Couldn't be found. The horses he brought to Naas, one after another, ran awful.
Lady,
2 mares in the thing, couldn't be in the first 3. There are 2 decent mares. In the pocket ran atrocious. He had a horse.
Butch Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy was beat jumping the first hurdle in a 2.5 mile race. Never seen anything like it. And
everything he ran over, like even looking at July Flower, everything he ran over Christmas ran a cracker.
But did it up to New Year's Eve, and then suddenly New Year's Day he had 3 or 4 in Tremor. Okay, he had a couple of placed horses in that, but Monty's thing ran all right, and he had a horse in Naas. There was second, or was it a horse belonged to Rob Curry? Could have been third actually, and Las Blanco or something like that. Yeah. But generally his horses ran bad. So you're running into sickness all the time in the jumps, I find. You know what I mean?
This time of year as well.
Yeah,
like sniffly noses.
And it goes from like Mullins to like having his horses questionable form. Next thing, he's 5 winners in a day. Do you know what I mean? A day later, so they go in and out of form fast. So it makes it.
He had like 16 winners in 12 days then since Christmas.
Yeah, it makes punting life tricky anyway when you don't have any idea what's happening with the stables really.
Okay, so that was the big signal. Any real hard luck stories or anything though?
The closest thing I had to a hard luck story was Salver. I think that was a bit unlucky in.
Do you?
I do, yeah. I think if it got the gap turning in. When it needed the gap, it was coming through. You on the side, you could see it was coming through to join the leaders. Would have been nearly in front, coming to the last. Got shut off, and then he was like 2.5 lengths behind, and probably beat when went for a big one at the last in Florida. You know what I mean? Like he needed a big jump at that stage. I wouldn't blame him. Like he was trying to probably make up for what had happened maybe a furlong earlier. I think that would have been very close to winning that race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not just pocket talk, no?
No, I don't think so. I think it would have been, maybe not would have won, but it would have been, I'd say if it didn't win, it would have been an X and head stuff anyway, do you know?
Right, okay, there we go. That is Johnny's Week in Review, marginally in front.
Yeah, that's it, that's it.
We're off to not so much a flyer, but we're off to a decent start in 2025. Yes, it's time for Ask Us Anything here on Upping The Ante, where you get to have your say and get your questions in to uppingtheante@racingpost.com, and we'll try and answer the best ones. And first up this week is Kate Carney, and Kate wants to know, Johnny Dineen, if you could attend any sporting event anywhere in the world, where would you go? And what celebrity would you bring with you? Did you have a good think about this?
I did. I did. Look, I've never been at one, and I never will be, I'd say. But I'd like to go to the Super Bowl.
Would you?
I would.
But you don't even watch American football.
But I'd say you don't even need to be an aficionado or whatever the word is to enjoy something like that. Like Americans do things big too, don't they? Do things proper, and it's their big like sporting event of the whole year. Like the whole country stops for it basically. It's a bit like they're on about the Melbourne Cup stops the nation. Definitely the Super Bowl it is a worldwide thing. I think I'd like to go to see that. Not that I'd have any. I probably don't even know this. I watched a bit of it the other night now. Just the last 20 minutes of a match. I don't even know who's playing. But
I'm going to ask you a question now. Give me 3 teams that play American football. 3.
I know the teams are.
Go on, give us 3.
Well, there's Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah. Are they any good?
They were playing the other night.
Go on, 2 more.
There's New England Patriots.
Right.
Chicago Bears. New York Jets. New York.
All right, stop showing off, right? Right.
I know a few teams. I know a few teams. I couldn't name 3 players though.
How many players is on a team?
Oh, geez, a load of them. A load of them. Can they bring 20 on and 20 off, don't they? on the team at one, I don't know. But
How many players start on the team?
Actually on the pitch at one time.
No, how many players on it? You know, there's 11 in soccer. How many players is on the team in American football?
I don't know, about 12 each, I suppose, would there?
Don't know.
I don't either. But I know there's more on the sideline than there is in the pitch, isn't there? But don't they take off 20 and put on 20 at the one time and all this kind of stuff? And depending on the movements they're doing and all that. You don't have a fella just there for kicking the ball over the bar. That's all he does. You know, I just like the razzmatazz of it. I'd say that'd be a great occasion, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it would. And if you were there for a few days and soaking it in, I'd say it'd be good crack now myself.
Did you ever do that in a quiz? How many players on a soccer team? Loads of them. Tell me this then. Second part of the question. So you're going to the Super Bowl. We're sending you this year. What month is it in?
January. The end of January. Yeah, it's very near the end of it now.
So we'll try and send you this year. Who are we sending with
you? We're going first class.
First class.
And I'm bringing Harry Redknapp with me.
Harry Redknapp?
I think he'd be a good character.
This could actually happen, you know that?
I don't
it's kind of realistic. Like.
Yeah.
If you said Cameron Diaz or something, we'd be like,
no. I think Harry Redknapp is a great character.
He will be good for
I love Cockney humour anyway. Do you know what I mean? And I'd love to be sitting alongside him now and a good old flight asking him about for this.
I'd say you should have some stories together.
What do you think of him and what do you give me the lowdown on this guy, Harry?
Yeah.
And he's giving it all. He's proper.
Yeah.
No, I love listening to him. I love the wit and the humour and he doesn't even have to be. It'd
be a good show, wouldn't it? Johnny and Harry go to the Super
Harry
Bowl.
Would be
sign them up, lads. That is a show we'd want to watch.
Leagues above me now, but no, I do. Every time he's on the telly, I enjoy him anyway. Yeah, I do.
There we go. Johnny, he's going.
And he's interested in horses, isn't that? You know what I mean?
So that'd take up a few hours on the flight.
Yeah, you'd be on about the jukebox men, and I could tell him how to ride him.
Yeah. You want to be up front, Harry?
Well, he knows that anyway, don't they?
So there you go, folks. Johnny Dineen, he wants to go to the Super Bowl, and he wants to go with Harry Redknapp. Next up on Ask Us Anything this week is Dara Reardon, and Dara says it's great for JJ Slevin to get the big gig as retained rider for Isaac Swade and Simon Munir after Daryl Jacob retired. But Dara says, what's the point if Paul Townend is riding all the good horses like Imperi Pass and Jasmine DeVoe? So, you know, obviously big news last week that JJ Slevin is the new retained rider in the double green. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, look, he's a retained rider, but he's not going to get up on the real top horses by the looks of things.
Do you think he would?
I thought originally when they said when the announcement came up first in Britain and Ireland, I was saying to myself, yeah, he's going to be riding
on everything.
Yeah, because he's good enough to ride top horses. You know what I mean?
Are you a fan?
Oh, he's an excellent rider. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I could see why someone would retain him. You know what I mean? But to me, the job he has now, look, okay, he's probably getting paid for it, which is important. So it's a bit of security from it, and he will get rides out of it. But he's going to struggle to get on the real top horses. Yeah. And like they don't have many runners in England anymore. I think I could only find 3 horses that they have in England this season. Matata, who's a reasonable horse, Sergeant Wilson, who's an absolute ginnet, and Katana, who ran the other day in where did that run? In Taunton, that thing, Katana. So they have nothing in England, basically. Basically, they have nothing. Look, I don't know. He's got the Irish horses, but if you're not allowed to ride the Mullins horses, well,
go on.
But anyway, if you're not allowed to ride the Mullins horses, it isn't much of a job as such. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know what it's like really. I suppose it's like getting a chauffeur and then when you get into the car, say, no, in the back I'm driving. Do you know what I mean? I go and do it myself. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't need when I really need you. After about 17 points, we might get you. But at the moment, you sit in the back. Look, but it's I suppose it's a wage. It's security. He will get rides. Of course, he'll get rides. But apart from Mullins, who they're insisting, I suppose, on Townend. Do you know what I mean? Now, I can see it from Mullins' point of view insofar as, okay, with Paul Townend not being allowed to ride the McManus horses, okay?
Yeah.
If it's a situation developed where it was Slevin on these double green horses.
Yeah, that's a lot of horses that Townend.
Then next thing Paul Townend is looking, Jesus Christ, I'm missing 40 horses here, like 40, maybe 50 horses. And there are probably 35 decent ones as well. suddenly he's not maybe left with it. And the next thing he might say, do you know what? I get a job in England here, I might be off. You know what I mean? Or somebody might come along and some big guy come on and say, you ride for me first and foremost.
And it is fair to say, like you mentioned, Mark Walsh there, JJ Slevin, 2 excellent jockeys, but Townend is better than them.
Yeah. You'd have to say so.
Do you know what I mean?
You'd
Like,
have to say
as
so.
good as it gets,
He's
like.
an in-house rider, and I suppose there is a thing to it. If they're not riding for you, they could be riding against you. Do you know what I mean? So that's another thing. I can see why Mullins wants to keep it in-house, and why, of course, he does. But like JJ Slevin will finish up. Like, how many winners did Darrell Jacob ride for Double Green in Cheltenham? 1. Fluke. Do you know what I mean?
What was it?
Concertista.
Oh, yeah.
50-1 Cheltenham. That's Irish horses anyway. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know, so no, okay, he couldn't get the likes of Intense Raffles, who was an outside chance in the national. But basically, he ain't going to be unless he rides a second string in that and it gets the race and that. But he's not going to be riding the real top.
So do you think kind of for this big announcement, obviously that was made, it's not actually that big of a deal?
I don't think so, really. I'd say basically what he's doing is riding what Darrell Jacob was riding, which wasn't a lot.
There you go. Best of luck in your new job, JJ. Hopefully there is plenty of big winners to come. And finally this week on Ask Us Anything, it's the turn of Jeremy Kavanagh. And Jeremy asks, is this the worst team Willie Mullins has had for the Cheltenham Festival in the last decade? He has so few hot favourites apart from Gallop and the Champs in the Gold Cup. How many winners does Johnny Dineen think he will have? So the first part of that question, so Willie Mullins so dominant at the Cheltenham Festival for the last decade or longer. Is this the worst team he has going into the festival since 2015?
Look, at the minute, you'd say he's not as strong as other years, but it's early days yet. The Dublin Racing Festival, he uses that meeting as a kind of a straining system to put 4 and 5 horses in races, and there'll be one pop out of a division, and next thing you'll have, instead of having a 10-1 defeat in the Supreme, you could have a 9-4 favourite. You know what I mean? That kind of way. Like
Kopek the boards. If he jumped well, won well. Like
you had Ballyburn last year, wasn't that hot a favourite going to the Supreme or either of them races until he destroyed his horses at Dublin Racing Festival. You'll have a good novice performance there. Like, you know what I mean? Probably a couple of novice. You could have a good bumper performance there. Do you know what I mean? You could even have one of the mares come out of the mare. Who knows what you're going to have? So it's a bit early to be writing them off now at the same time. And as I said, the Dublin Racing Festival will produce horses and put away horses as well. Like horses say Cade Doughty will be either probably like 3-1 favourite or any price you like. You know what I mean? After the Dublin Racing Festival, so it's their horses will stand up and be counted at a meeting like that and put their credentials in and there'll be also horses with their bubbles completely bust as well. So I wouldn't be writing them off just yet. He's never a master of handicaps there at the same time, so look, at the minute you'd looking at the makeup of the races, you'd say he's not going to have the favourite in the 2.5 mile race anyway. You know what I mean? The 2.5 mile novice.
No. And definitely won't have the favourite in the Arkle, no matter if Ashborough wins easily or not.
Exactly. No, he's not.
Sergino will be favourite.
He's
not going to have the favourite in the Champion Hurdle.
No, he's not. There's quite a few races where he's not going to have
the Gaelic Warrior and an Energumen gives him a strong chance in the Champion Chase.
Yeah, it does.
He's no chance in the Stayers Hurdle.
No, he hasn't. No, there's quite a few races where he's only going to have chances anyway. Definitely not piping hot chances anyway.
It is a bit different. Like he could have an incredible festival again, but it is a bit different to other years.
He definitely, no matter what he won't have an incredible festival anyway.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So what do you think he'll get to?
How many winners do you have other years? I can't.
Did he have 10 last year?
I'm not even sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be guessing he could be back to 6 or so like that.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
You could imagine that.
Back to a kind of a normal. Top trainer. Journey.
Yeah, he'd be still top trainer, but I'd say he'd be.
How shocked would you be if he got 2?
I would be amazed if he got 2 now. He will win plenty of races.
So you're pricing a kind of under or over 5.5?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say 6, in around 6 will find him. You know what I mean? 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe that kind of stuff.
Okay.
That'd be kind of little bracket I'd have in mind for him. But I don't see him being as dominant as other years, is right. But I wouldn't be writing him off just yet. But like as I said, you'd have a better guide after the Dublin Racing Festival, how he's fixed it, but he needs to produce horses at that at the same time.
Because it's getting late, like.
Yeah, it is, and like he's not going to win handicaps because a lot of his horses have only one run and they're not going to get into handicaps.
The likes of Stateman winning a county hurdle, that's not going to happen this year.
No, it's not. No, so like there are horses that just appeared once over hurdles, and they're not going to have enough sufficient runs to get into handicap. So, look, yeah, Corpick the board is like a horse that could do something. You know what I mean? He could. Again, he can put himself out of the reckoning, or he can put himself bang into it. Who knows?
But imagine if he jumped and settled.
Yeah, he's a good horse, all right, for sure. He is a good horse, is right.
So there you go. You're going with 6 roughly.
Yeah,
6.
around that, I'd say. Yeah,
6.
yeah. But I'd say he'd be down all right. I think he'd be down, yeah.
Okay, there you go. That was this week's Ask Us Anything. So now it's time for Star of the Week here on Upping The Ante, where Johnny Dineen counts down his top 3 performances from the last 7 days. Who's up number 3 this week, Johnny?
Number 3 is a bumper horse in Warwick on New Year's Eve, a horse called No Drama Descend, Nichols' horse. Do you see him running?
I did. I read your column in the Racing Post on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I put him up as a
You
night
love
catch.
this fella.
I do. He's a good horse, I'd say, yeah. They bought him out of Badbury Rings, a point-to-point place. No, I was critical of maybe the source, but whoever sourced this horse anyway did a good job, I think, anyway, yeah. So,
backtrack on that, Johnny.
So, look, you have to give credit where credit is due, too.
Okay.
And look, it looked a fair race. The second horse was a horse of Dan Skelton's, who had point-to-pointed in Ireland and had beaten a horse of theirs as well. They bought the 2, first and second, and that had won at Cheltenham already in a bumper. One easy 2, Fortune, the Mayor, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd say it was a smart race. All the big stables were like Pauling and all these kind of hindered. You know what I mean? There was good stables in it. There's Owen, that fellow Owen had a horse in it. Like there was he was in the betting too. Look, it was money for 2, and considering that Nichols's horses weren't running great, it was steady in the market. And was always in good position and won real well. I thought it won.
Last 50 yards were quite impressive.
Oh, won 3 or 4 lengths, and it could have been more. And like put it this way, I don't see any world beater in bumpers in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say he has a chance of in maybe a festival bumper, maybe Cheltenham entry, maybe who knows where they'll go. But I'd say he's that kind of a horse. But he's going to be a smart jump starts because he already has point-to-pointed and won point-to-point. I don't know, did Will Biddick or something have something to do with him? I'm not sure who had him there, but. He's a grey horse. I think he's by Walk in the Park, but he's definitely a useful horse. He's going to be a really good novice hurdler next season.
Give us the name of him again.
No Drama Descend.
No Drama Descend is number 3. Number 2?
Number 2, I went with Cham Kiley. I thought that was hugely impressive in the Fairy House. Jumped great on a stiffish track, like for novices.
Proper jumping test.
Yeah,
isn't it?
first time out. They hadn't run in over a year, or in around a year anyway. Definitely in that length of time. Even Cleatus Poola put it up to it all the way around, jumped with it all the way around, and eventually he broke that horse, broke it well, and won 11 lengths from horses like Chigger and Chosen Witness, who weren't bad horses in their own right. I'd say he's up there with the top Mullins novices anyway in the back of that. Yeah, I'd say so. Okay. I'd imagine so. I'd say he's going to be dangerous in that 2 mile 5 race against Impere Pass in Leopardstown at the Dublin Racing Festival. I'd say so. Yeah, okay. I was very impressed with him. Anyway, very impressed.
Okay, that's Cham Kiley. And number 1 this week is?
Number 1 this week, I went with, what did I go for now again?
It was obviously so good and so memorable.
Oh, sorry, I went for the Yellow Clay.
All right, okay.
Yeah, he won a grade 1, and he won it well too. And like he definitely cemented his prospects of winning the 2.5 mile novice hurdle at Cheltenham.
Do you think he'll go there rather than the Albert Park?
I would say so, yeah. I would say so. Look, he's a horse with like. He's a good, solid horse. Now it's
loads of experience.
It's going to be in a deep race though, at the same time. Whether he'll be good enough for that kind of level, I'd maybe say he mightn't be. But his performance, he's got a good ride too. Like he was in the right position. Like
kicked at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. He was tracking the right horses, and he was in front of the the other ones that he needed to be in front of. Basically, I mean, there was horses in that race were beat after. Like Butch Cassidy was beat at the first. So was Shuffle the Deck. Yeah. They're too far back in here for
Shuffle the Deck didn't.
That ran atrocious. Yeah, well, probably didn't go on the ground. But like you start off in last place in the race like that, you're asking for trouble, I think. But your man was always in control and settled it well and was going to the line again. So
Jasmine DeVoe is a natural, isn't he?
Yeah, Jasmine DeVoe jumped atrocious. Yeah, he did, and he did the
like
same.
Me
thing.
or you getting over a hurdle?
He did the same thing in Navan, and he got a great ride too because he kept him away from horses. Yeah. And he kind of he got him into a half a rhythm at one stage.
Yeah.
And then he had a cup of tea and one down the far side. Didn't he? Like stopped and then he lost about 4
And the camera angle was like it was.
Yeah, and then he was gone from there again. But he's jumping.
Would you give up on him now, Jasmine DeVoe?
I would as a top horse for sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing some horses just don't take to it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and did he? I think he had point to point. Did he, that horse?
I can imagine so. Yeah,
I think he had. Yeah. So like that makes it all the more surprising that he can't jump a hurdle. Like when he got around the point. I don't know what he was doing, but he definitely maybe he could have a problem with his back or something. Who knows what he has?
So could you see the yellow clay beating either Potter's Charm or the New Line?
No, I couldn't. But he'll run well in it at the same time. He'd run respectably. I couldn't see him beating both of them anyway. No, I couldn't. But he's a runner at the same time. You know what I mean? He's a very good place chance at the very least. And who knows? Maybe if he improves again, I still think won't be up to the really top horses.
Okay. And final question: price it up. What price is he to go for the Turners, and what price is he to go for the Albert Bartlett?
I'd say he's no offers to go to Turners. He even said it the other day. He's going for the Turners.
All right. Okay.
So I don't think he'll go for the Albert Bartlett. No, I think he hasn't run it 3 miles. I think he'd stay where he is now.
Okay. There you go, Johnny Dineen, star of the week. It's the yellow clay. So now let's hear what caught Johnny's eye in the last week. It's time for the Racing Post tracker, the one horse that you've got to put in your tracker. What is it?
Yeah, I like this fella.
Oh,
I do.
Oh, this is a proper build-up.
Yeah, I think it is
a
proper tracker horse.
So he didn't win.
No, he didn't win, no.
And
he mightn't win a bump rider, but he's going to be a smart horse over hurdles, I'd say. And fences eventually down the line. That's something.
Ireland or England?
England. A horse called Draco Malfoy. Did you ever hear of him? No.
Well, you're going to have to spell it for us. Go on.
Draco, Draco.
Yeah.
And then it's Malfoy. Draco.
Who trains it?
Kim Bailey.
Right.
He's owned by the people that own Chianti Classico.
Yeah.
He's in those colours. He
deserve a bit of luck.
Yeah, he won a bumper, or he won a point to point. I think it was in Barra's house. I think he sold for 140 grand.
Right.
And he was favouring New Toxer first time in a bumper. Just lacking that bit of pace for a bumper.
Oh, yeah.
Finished fourth.
Yeah.
And he ran the other day in Huntington again. Just get tapped for pace, but staying like a train. You know what I mean? I'd say like not that he couldn't win a bumper. He can, but it'll have to be at a stiff track, a really stiff track. But he's going to be a 2.5 mile plus hurdle horse next season, and I'd say he's going to be quite a decent one.
Could you see him being a graded jumper?
I could see him being a Chianti Classico type of horse. You know what I mean? Maybe at some stage being maybe not a top level hurdler, but a good one, and then graduating into a good handicap chaser. Yeah,
okay.
I'd say he's a smart horse, and he's a good replacement for Chianti Classico.
This is the most exciting I've ever seen you about a one for the Racing Post tracker horse.
Yeah, look, I think he'll definitely win races. He could even win a bumper, but it'd have to be somewhere where there's a stiff finish. I don't know.
So, Johnny, if we're still here in, 2029, we could be talking about him as a Gold Cup contender.
No, I wouldn't say maybe that, but I could talk him.
Do you think we'll still be here?
I don't know.
What's the biggest chance? Us two still being here or him being a Gold Cup
You'll
contender?
be here, but I mightn't be now. You know,
you'll be on ITV.
I could be on. I'd be on a stint or something that'd keep me alive or something.
Stint? I thought that was a programme.
No, one of those things, the heart or something.
So give the name again.
Draco Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy, remember it, and put it in your Racing Post tracker. So let's hear about Johnny's never ordinary moment. The one moment in the last week where you went, wow, Johnny, did you go wow more than once?
No, I went wow and more relief in this one, actually.
Are you a wow man? Would you say wow man?
No, not really, no. But this isn't really a wow, but it was more a wow, kind of wow and a bit of relief as well, thrown in the middle, you know what I mean?
You backed it then?
I did, I backed it, yeah. But more importantly, I had it put up for Cheltenham. I did a wow when Sounds Victorious rescued his race in Fairy House.
It was looking sticky there.
Well, when they turned in, I was saying to him, oh, I'm going to be shamed. Look at this thing trying to run. I said, it's slower than the Budweiser horses. Look at it. There's about 10 horses around it. and they're all going to swamp it.
Yeah.
And next thing, the second horse passed it.
Yeah.
And I said, Jesus, oh, you're a bad yoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And next thing, he got this energy burst from somewhere. Yeah. And next thing, coming back down to the last, there was a small chance again now here. All of a sudden, one good jump and I might be back in it.
Yeah.
And then he landed on the running. I said, yeah, he'll win now. You know what I mean? So that was.
Then he went right away.
Well, he's won 2.5 and about 15 back. You wouldn't have thought that he'd beat the third horse by 17 lengths. No, I'd say the second horse is a good horse there myself. You know, a horse very. It was back from like 50 to 1 to 8.5 to 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was no fluke. They weren't expecting it to run.
It was Eddie Colley's.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it had a good run in Navan too, 5th to Jasmine DeVoe. So
yeah.
That was only its second run in Fairy House. So I said that's going to pick up. That could have been an eye catcher the week too, very easily. But I'm not writing him off yet. You know
No,
what I
do you
mean?
know what? You got one thing right on you, was the stayer.
Yeah,
Holy God.
yeah. I'd say he wants 3 miles plus. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. And like, okay, you wouldn't really fancy him for the Albert Bartlett, but I'm not writing him off, and I wouldn't be a total optimist either. Do you know what I mean? If a horse is if fit for the can, I'd put him in it now. But
Yeah.
I just think that in a race like that he probably doesn't have to force his gallop and all that. It's going to be end to end 3 miles.
Yeah.
Like if he's hanging around anyway, coming to the last, he's a chance.
Yeah.
But like if you look,
He's one of them lads now on a night out, you know, when everybody's kind of getting tired at 3 o'clock. He's up doing shots at the bar. And he's like, where's the after party? Where are we going? I'm not going home till 9 o'clock the next morning. And then I'm going on the beer again the next day.
He's a strong stayer, is right. And look, if you look at the SPs of the horses that won that race, the Albert Bartlett, it's all 18 to 1, 14 to 1. Now, he's not going to be short now anyway, no matter what he does.
Will he run again? He probably
I
will.
say he'll go to the DRF 2 mile and 6,
Yeah.
I think that's the obvious race for him. And if he runs well in that, like, he needs to perform in that now, because if he gets beat outside that, then he is gone more than likely. But I'd expect him to run well in that too.
There you go. Johnny's never ordinary moment. A bit of pocket talk, bit from the heart, small bit from the head. It Sounds Victorious, who's back on the Albert Bartlett Trail. And speaking of Sounds Victorious meant it was 2 in a row for Johnny's midweek treat. So it's now 3 out of 8. So after the Jukebox Man and Sounds Victorious, you're on a roll, Johnny. You're on a hat-trick. People were slagging you for this midweek treat. Wasn't going so well after 6 weeks, but you've turned it around. Like, we're obviously not going to get rich quick back in these shorties. But
well, I suppose not.
Winner's a winner's a winner.
Saying that, like, he was... There was non-runners in the race. And to be honest, I wouldn't have backed him if Lovely Hurling ran. I'd be mind made up and going to back him at all.
Okay.
Maybe rightly so too, the way he finished. But
so you're on a hat trick. We want to keep this run going now, okay?
Yeah.
What have you got for us this week?
I'll go with the horse tomorrow in Taunton. I'm hoping that it'll be on. It's about the only
Taunton
chance.
inspection in the morning, but
it is a chance of being on, I'd say. Some sort of a chance of it. There's a better chance than most meetings being on this week. I'll go with Tom Doniphan in the 2:15, horse of Philip Hobbs's.
Tom Doniphan.
Tom Doniphan, yeah.
Okay.
DONIPHN. I think he's in off 112. He's getting about £10 off of Nichols' horse Sarcelor. I nearly fancy him off levels to beat Sarcelor.
Wow, okay.
And plus there's plenty of exposed horses in the race. He's not exposed. He was just touched off in a race in Hereford. And he won his maiden hurdle. He's a horse that has a reasonable amount of ability. I think he has a good chance in that race.
Okay, so give us the name of the horse, the time. And
Tom Doniphan, 2:15 tomorrow, Taunton.
Taunton on Wednesday. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strong would you be?
I'd be put him at about a 7.5, yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's Johnny's midweek treat. Can he do 3 in a row? Now it's time for what's happening this week here on Upping The Ante. And probably not a lot. Not a lot. These fixtures are looking dodgy. We're going to preview 4 races, 1 from Wetherby, 1 from Warwick, and 2 from Kempton on Saturday. This could be an absolute waste of time, Johnny. But sure, anyway, we'll give it a few minutes.
Yeah.
Kicking off with the Touton Novices Chase at Wetherby. Can throw up a good horse over shorter distance now. What do we like in this?
Look, I'd say Pauling has a good say in it. He's 2 horses, Personal Ambition, Peak Rock. Is it Peak Rock? I think it's Peak Rock, yeah. Personal Ambition was a bit lucky in Ascot.
Would he have won?
He would. He would have won. I think he could win this if... just hypothetically, if the race meeting goes ahead, I'd fancy him, yeah.
Okay. I thought Moyertown had a chance at about 8 to 1 for Lucinda Russell. I thought that was impressive last time. I think the track definitely suits Moyertown. Moving across to Warwick for the Hampton Novices Chase. Handstands versus Cherry Dam. This could be a very good race.
Yeah, if it goes ahead.
Now, Johnny, you got handstands wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I did at the minute anyway. Yeah, I did. Our handstands is probably a reasonable animal. This is a good chance for him. It's probably a dead match. I'd imagine Cherry Dam will be making the run in here.
I kind of fancy Cherry Dam.
I do too a bit. Yeah, I do too a bit. I take my chances that she got loose in front here that he mightn't rein her in. That's all. Yeah.
Like she was very good the last time. What looked a strong race? Would you wear it well? And...
Yeah. I suppose she outstayed them horses. This is another half a mile again further. Yeah. Look. Being in front in Warwick is no bad thing in a chase, and if you're jumping from fence to fence and Skelton's firing horses into fences, which he does, and he did it the last day, I'd say he'll do it again here. If he can force Hanson's a mistake out of it, or maybe rub 1 or 2 in behind, he can get him on the like after bridle and maybe stay where he is. You know.
So we're both Cherry Dam.
I'm going to go with Cherry Dam.
Okay, and the 2 races we're going to look at quickly at Kempton, the Silviniaco Conti Chase. Looks Pictori's again for the taking, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a good chance, surely, yeah.
It's amazing with a horse like that, you can pick and choose these grade 2s, like the race that he won at Ascot, this race. There's another race I think coming up. Is it at Ascot again in February?
Is there? Yeah.
For a horse like him, he can just mop up these races without having to go to the top
Yeah,
grade. Like,
yeah. It's a bit like Saint Sam does it in Ireland. Doesn't he? He was picking up these grade twos. There was a horse Bacchus used to do it as well. He used to win all them grade twos. Look, he does. He don't only one thing about Pictori. He doesn't want bad ground. I don't think.
Yeah.
That's the only little.
But he'd even win this probably on bad ground, would he?
Maybe so. Yeah. He has a bit of form on bad ground, but it's not as good. I think he's a better horse and better ground, and he's probably not going to get any run anyway. Like probably, but if he did come up on heavy ground, it'd be a small worry. That's all. Yeah.
Okay. And the final race we're going to look at, a big traditional event, is the Lanzarote Hurdle at Kempton. My Daddy the Great. So Daddy the Great was my banker of Christmas, and it lasted all of. Did I get 100 yards out of it?
I didn't see it when I turned on to watch the race. It was 1,000 to 1. You know what I mean? It was already 1,000.
Well, I'd say he got about 100 yards, so it's quite funny. So over Christmas, especially at Christmas, all your relations come in for dinner, and everybody give us one for Christmas. They obviously don't know me. Give us one for Christmas. Give us one for Christmas. And every single person I met, Daddy the Great, Daddy the Great, Daddy the Great. So I kind of felt a bit of pressure, So I was working in Leopardstown. It was a disaster of a day at Leopardstown. Couldn't see a thing anyway. So I went out to I think the bumper was after being on, and then came back in, and the race was just coming on the telly, and my heart, when you give, nothing to do financially or anything, but when you give, you feel this, do you not get that? No? I feel horror pressure. If you give loads of people a horse, I feel pressure. My heart is pounding, and then I'm watching and go, what on earth is going on here? And then he just pulled him up.
Yeah.
Look, Daddy the Great is in the Lanzarote. He was entered last week as well, and the meeting was called off, obviously, at Sandown. He's a very well handicapped horse, and I do think Kempton is the perfect track for him over hurdles, and I think 2 mile 5 is perfect. He's a big price, Daddy the Great, at the moment. Whether he runs or not, I don't know. He's not jacked up at the minute, and the meeting mightn't be on anyway. But I think Daddy the Great is very well handicapped over hurdles, especially at a track like Kempton. If he doesn't run, I'd be very keen on Knight of Allen. Knight of Allen is a horse that I've had in mind for this race for ages, since he ran at Haydock. I just think everything about the race suits him. I'd imagine he's been trained for the race, Knight of Allen. David Noonan's already jocked up. I think he's well handicapped. Around about 8 to 1, I thought Knight of Allen was very interesting. What do you like?
Only a token bet on Good Luck Charm. I just think it's 120. It's still feasible. I'm assuming if it'll be on the ground, it'll be bad there. Yeah. It won in bad ground in Sandown. It just has a chance. That's all in an open race.
Okay, there we go. That's what's happening this week. But the last 5 minutes or so could be pointless. Now it's time for DJ versus JD. Yes, our weekly charity bet competition. We were both kind of a little bit unlucky. Well, not unlucky, but we both looked at big chances at one stage last week. I went for Reed to return at Fairy House, who was held up and looked to be coming there to win his race, but just I probably made up so much ground to get there. Got excited coming down to the last, finished third in that handicap hurdle at Fairy House. And Johnny, you were on Salver, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So we're both a bit unlucky. So you're now minus 87.50, Johnny. We need to get back above the zero. After being nearly 400 quid up, I'm down to plus 237.50. So plus 237.50 versus minus 87.50. So we need winners this week, Johnny. Where are you going to?
I'm going to go with the Fairy House for the Dan Moore handicap chases. It's the only race I could see entries for.
That'll probably be on.
Hopefully it will be on. Yeah, I didn't want to pick something that won't be on. Yeah. So I don't even.
So it's not your type of race now, Johnny. I have to say.
No, it's not. But I didn't want to pick something in England that's going to be off. You know what I mean? So I'll chance on a race that might be on anyway. I'll go with Jordan's in the 142. It's in that Dan Moore. Yeah, I just think the 2 mile handicap chases, that kind of level isn't wonderful, and it's very much open to a young horse coming in and maybe winning a race against a lot of exposed horses at that trip. The 2 mile handicap chase division is never that strong in Ireland or in England either, to be honest. So a horse like Jordan's, who ran a blinder against Imperial Pass in Limerick, and assuming he turns out again here, back at 2 miles will be no problem.
Stable are going all right.
Yeah, going well is right. Yeah,
Winning everything at the minute, Joseph. Right.
So look, I just think he's in a nice race and weight. I think he's a very good chance in that race.
Okay, so Jordan's, what time is the race?
1:42.
1:42 at Fairyhouse. Jordan's 50 quid in the nose?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And because there's doubts about racing, and I was looking at the meetings, and obviously we previewed races in what's happening this week, I just wanted to get a runner.
Okay.
So I'm going to the all-weather. I'm going to Kempton on Wednesday night, the 8 o'clock, and Clockmaker for David Simcock and Hayley Turner. Actually, would you believe this horse finished second, the Hidden Law, on his debut, the Chester Vaz winner, unfortunately no longer with us, but Hidden Law was second to Hidden Law at Newbury on his debut and looked like he was going to make a smashing horse. That was back in April. It hasn't quite worked out for Clockmaker, who's down to a mark of 87, but I thought last time at Suddle there was definitely more sign of life. I thought he actually finished out his race this time, and I know he's down in trip from 2 miles to a mile and a half, but a strongly run mile and a half should suit. Off a mark of 78. I think he's around about 9-2 and the early prices chalked up with different firms. So we'll see what Bet365 can give us. But hopefully Clockmaker can get off the mark in the 8 o'clock at Kempton on Wednesday night. And that is this week's DJ versus JD. So now it's time for the festival squads here on Upping The Ante, where myself or Johnny, or both, could put up a tip for the 2025 Cheltenham Festival. And we have 2 tips this week. And before we reveal those, we're going to have a quick look at the squads, Johnny. Yours is going okay. You've made a solid enough start. A lot depends on Cade Doughty.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be. I'd be looking for shareholders from my fellas anyway.
Yeah.
I would, yeah. No, mine are not looking great at all, to be honest.
I was just giving you a bit of confidence there.
I'm not sharing it. I'm not feeling the love really.
It could, if Cade Doughty happened to win.
If, you know what I mean? There's a lot of ifing going on.
You've sounds victorious.
Yeah, look, I only have bits and pieces of chances.
In the pocket kind of fell out your pocket's on the ground.
That's big trouble now anyway, yeah. Like it's like no matter how optimistic you are, you couldn't really fancy that.
But July, the 2 obviously you put up last week, July Flower has been smashed in the market, probably by you.
Yeah, look, I could easily have a winner, but at the moment, like I'm a big favourite to have no winner so far anyway. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I don't know about that. And obviously Factifile, if he runs in the Ryanair Chase, that 50.
Yeah, there's a lot of ifing going on in my ones now.
Yeah.
I need a few things to go right.
If things go right, you could have a good week, Johnny.
That's it.
And just a quick look at my list now. So it's going okay, Johnny. Potter's Charm tipped up at 22-1, is now into 6-1.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah,
that's a nice one. Romeo Coolio is back into kind of joint favouritism for the Supreme, and Il Atlantique, who I think would have a cracking chance in the Brown Advisory if he steps up and triple. Give him no chance whatsoever in the Arkle against Sergino. But if you imagine him lobbing around Cheltenham over 3 miles, he would absolutely love it. He's now into 7-1 for the Brown Advisory with Bet365, tipped up at 20-1 a couple of weeks ago. So fingers crossed, Il Atlantique will go for that race. So yeah, hopefully, Johnny, there's a few in there. Obviously, Firefox, you could see him running reasonably well in Arkle, but he's not going to win it. And Sergino for the Champion Hurdle, well, that looks gone, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is an awful trouble. Yeah, Firefox isn't like.
I was surprised. Like he's 25-1 now for the. There's only going to be 5 runners or 6 runners in the Arkle, and he's going to be the first 3 or 4.
Yeah, look,
and he's definitely going there.
Hardly win it, but like I don't see why didn't make the running in this.
But I wonder, Johnny. I don't know if he could. I honestly don't.
So he made no attempt to make the running at the same time.
But I thought he kind of half did. There was various stages of the race where I thought Firefox was going as fast as he could.
You line up 2 lengths in front of everybody else, you make the run, you just seize it and you say, look, I'm making the run, that's it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We'll try to find out from Sam.
You give away that there's a huge bias in the chase track in this.
Yeah.
You glue to yourself to the stand side and it's nearly impossible. If you have any kind of a horse, you'll win from there.
Yeah.
And they left the winner do everything. Like make the running,
I thought he kind of took him on at various stages, no?
But you just go from the start. You jump the first 2 lengths in front and see what happens.
Yeah, you watch it again, Johnny. I think he was going as fast as he could. Yeah, on that ground, I don't think he liked that ground.
But he didn't even make an attempt to make the running, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, look, Mullins had 3 winners there until every one of them were allowed to make the running.
But Il Atlantique wasn't given his own way. Like there was various fences where Firefox was right upsides him and
yeah, but he still never took the lead off him at the same time.
I'd say he did. I'd say we'll have to watch it again. There was one point, I think, on the side where Firefox might have jumped to the front, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll watch it again after.
He still got the rail anyway coming up the home straight.
He did get the rail, obviously, yeah. Okay, so there you go. That's Firefox. Okay, so unfortunately, Johnny, who's been busy the last few weeks, I've had a few weeks where I haven't put up anything. Johnny's been putting up 2s each week, and this week I'm going to put up 2, Johnny.
Good.
So my first of those is in the Triumph Hurdle, and I'm joining The Lulamba gamble. Lulamba to me, 10 to 1 with Bet365 on the site for the Triumph Hurdle. Look, he's never ran in Britain before. He's come from Chally, who's decent supply chain coming to Willie Mullins over the years. Chally in France. Just looking back at his performance at Auteuil, he was so strong at the end of the race, wasn't he? He looks to me like a horse who is going to find plenty off the bridle. He mightn't have as much speed as Sergino, but he's coming into a kind of a Triumph Hurdle picture. I don't like the top two in the market. Do you? Hello Neighbour was good and will improve and is a very good horse and is unbeaten on the flat and over jumps. But he still only just about won at Leopardstown on over Christmas. And like East India Dock, very, very impressive. But you just imagine if there is a Sergino type to come into this race, this could be him.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the Hello Neighbour. It looks very, very short for the Triumph Hurdle. Like it's. I saw 5 and 6 to 1.
Yeah.
Like I don't think no matter what happens, will that be less than 5 or 6 to 1 in the day anyway? Do you know what I mean?
I think
and it could be 20 to 1.
I think this is one market, the Triumph Hurdle market, that's going to change utterly in the next couple of weeks. And I'm hoping Lulamba will start that change. Like he's entered at Kempton on Saturday, and I just wanted to see him entered. I was very impressed with him at Auteuil, and the 5th horse came out next time and won easily, and it looks like it was a strongish race. So I'm hoping Lulamba, who's in the Joe Donnelly colours, there's a bit of a whiff of Sergino about him. Obviously, you know, he's not going to be that good, but if he's half as good, he could win on Saturday, and then he could potentially be vying for favouritism in the Triumph Hurdle. So I think now is the time to go for something unknown like Lulamba, and hopefully he can do the business on Saturday if racing is on at Kempton. And I think that 10 to 1 Lulamba for the Triumph Hurdle could look a big price. So that's my first one, Lulamba for the Triumph Hurdle at 10 to 1. And Johnny, I'm doing a U on it.
What's that?
I'm delving into the Mayor's Hurdle.
Okay.
So after you spoke last week, you found July Flower, and I said to myself, do you know what? He's right. Lossiemouth, it's a 2-year plan. Willie is going to go for the Champion Hurdle, I think. You know, he's not going to go back on his word. This has been 2 years in the making with Lossiemouth. She is 2.5 lengths to find with Constitution Hill. And I think when it comes down to the crunch, Brighter Days Ahead is going to go for the Champion Hurdle as well. So that means there is value in this market. You found July Flower. I'm going with Cargisi.
Okay.
I'm going with Cargisi or Cargaze, whatever way you want to pronounce it. Just that juvenile form, Johnny. At the time, we didn't know how good it was. Now it's kind of looking pretty outstanding. Tried a very short run in the Triumph Hurdle against Majborough, was outstayed that day. But if you go back and watch the Triumph Hurdle, at every stage of the race, Cargisi travels through the race like the best horse in the race, male or female. And then a stronger, bigger, more imposing horse in Majborough came and beat her. But they were miles clear of the rest, Johnny. And then you go to Aintree, and she's so keen, and that's the problem. She is keen, but she was so keen for so far in that race, and she's picked up by Sergino. Again, miles clear of the third. I just think she could be very good. And there's a bit of a Lossiemouth whiff kind of off the way she's been campaigned. You know, nothing for the first half of her second season over hurdles. She's only just turned 5. She's had a light campaign. That's what they did with Lossiemouth as well. She didn't appear for quite a while, and then she went and won the Mayor's Hurdle at Cheltenham. And if Brighter Days Ahead and Lossiemouth go for the Mayor's Hurdle, which I think looks likely at this stage, Johnny, if she stays, now she's going to have to settle. But you'd imagine that's been part of the process at the moment, trying to get her to settle at home. If she does settle and if she stays, I could see her going off favourite for the Mayor's Hurdle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do. Even though I put up July Flower, like Cargisi has much better form than July Flower.
That's what I was.
Yeah. Like her form last year is outstanding. Just I would probably have put her up myself, only the fact that she had no sign of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she's okay.
She
did a bit of digging. I think she's okay. So hopefully we'll see her soon.
Well, if you do see her soon and she does bolt in, she will be favoured for the Mayor's Hurdle probably. So I wouldn't fault that.
And it is just that stamina. But the only thing is that the Triumph Hurdle is 2 miles 1 on the new course. The Mayor's Hurdle is 2 mile 4 on the old course.
Yeah,
a year stronger. Hopefully she settled better. I think she has got a chance.
Oh, I definitely. It's probably the logical one to be. If she turns up, I just hate backing horses that haven't run. You know
well, I was kind of between her and Jade de Grugy, and I think with Jade de Grugy, she's going to make a smash and chaser. Jade de Grugy.
I'd definitely go for her over Jade de Grugy.
Would you,
yeah, definitely. Okay. Like Jade de Grugy ran in the race last year, and I'd say ran afterwards as well, didn't it? Jade de Grugy.
Yeah, got a brilliant ride. Won at Fairy House. Yeah, won the Grade 1.
But look, I don't know. I just think that Cargisi is a fairly classy animal.
Yeah.
I suppose getting the trip is a bit of a worry, but as you say, the Triumph Hurdle generally throws upstairs, doesn't it? Like a lot of the time, horses that have no problem going out in distance. So she's probably a great chance if she's in good fettle, yeah.
Okay, there we go. So my 2 tips. today for the 2025 Cheltenham Festival. Lulamba at 10-1 for the Triumph Hurdle with Bet365, and Cargeesy at 12-1 with Bet365 for the Mayor's Hurdle. We're going to look like some pillocks now, Johnny, at Brighter Days Ahead, and Lassie might go for the Mayor's Hurdle. And we're on July Flower and Cargeesy at 33s, the two of them.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see about that, yeah.
We'll see. But there you go. That is this week's Festival Squads. Now, folks, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Yes, Johnny's joke of the week. What are you on your soapbox about this week, Johnny?
Look, I'm going to bring up the issue with the Mayor's Hurdle anyway. I know people have probably spoken about this already, but I do think that we're in a situation now where we have next 2 months we list the will she, won't she? This rubbish. You know what I mean? Like
with Brighter Days Ahead and Lassie,
where they going for this? Where they go for that? These things should be taken out of the connections' hands. It shouldn't boil down to the sportsmanship of an owner, or maybe the lack of sportsmanship of an owner. I think that if you have an elite mayor, and what an elite mayor would be 155 or 156 or
that's
upwards.
The cut-off point, 155.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be fine. Yeah, 155. If you have an elite mayor like that on your hands, you cannot run in the Mayor's Hurdle, which should be made a Grade 2 anyway. Because in my opinion, there should be no Mayor's races, confined Mayor's races, Grade 1s anyway.
Okay.
They should make them all Grade 2 because
there's a lot of them.
There's that
one
many.
in Punchestown, there's one in Fairyhouse.
Yeah, there's one in Punchestown, there's one in Fairyhouse, and there's this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in my eyes, none of them should be Grade 1s because do you know what I think?
What about the breed though?
But you're detracting from the actual Grade 1 mayors that have won in Grade 1 company against geldings.
Okay.
Same time. Like Brandy Love won a Grade 1 mayor's race in Fairyhouse. Do you know what I mean? So basically,
where did she go?
Yeah, she sold
her career went in a different direction.
She couldn't even win a chase. She sold her 115 grand or something there lately at some old breeding things I read. But like, to me, it detracts from the likes of Honeysuckles and Annie Powers, who could go in against geldings. Like, the allowance is there for a reason.
Yeah.
They get the allowance in Grade 1 company against geldings to give them a chance. And we have seen over the last 10 years or more, whatever, that there have been some excellent mares around. The likes of Annie Power, Honeysuckle, Benny the Jew, Cavega.
Vroom Mag, yeah.
Yeah, Vroom, all them kind of things.
Apples Jade.
And these two current ones.
Yeah.
To me, it shouldn't be a question of we'll go here, we'll go there, we have options. You should be, once your mare reaches a certain point of a rating.
So 2 questions for you on that then, okay? You're saying they should be, if you're rated 155 or higher, you cannot run in the Mayor's Hurdle, okay?
Yes.
What's the cut-off point of the season for the rating? So is it if you're rated 155 by the middle of February, the start of February, the middle of January? What stage?
Yeah, but that's a tricky one. I didn't even think of that, to be honest. Yeah.
Sorry about that, Johnny.
But I suppose at entry stage, you can't enter for the race if you're rated over 1.5 something.
Yeah, but sure, the entries could be next week, like.
Yeah, but basically, you ain't going to deteriorate much in here between January and March, are you? Like, really?
Yeah.
Do you know
so
what I mean?
basically, maybe the year end should be the
because Brighter Days Ahead was 155 in Leopardstown, so I presume she's gone up after that, after winning by 30
she's 167 now. Yeah.
Is she? Yeah. Well, there's no way in the world a 167 mare should be allowed running the Mayor's Hurdle. Okay. No way. And like we had a situation where Cavega won it 6. That's a load of rubbish too. When the Cavega win it 6 years in a row, like the only year that she would have been allowed run was the first year. It was the only year that she was under 155.
Okay.
She wouldn't, like, by these times, she wouldn't be allowed to run in any other year. You know what I mean? I think it gives other horses a chance. And look, but if by virtue of the fact you made, like, the Mayor's Chase isn't a Grade 1, it's a Grade 2.
Grade 2, yeah.
Then the Mayor's Hurdle should be the same. I think, like, you need for the sport as well. It's damaging for the sport, in my opinion, that you don't have clarity as to, and you're depending on someone like O'Leary to say we should run in. Like, everyone knows where she should run anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's bottom line. Everyone knows where she should run. Yeah. She should run in the Champion Hurdle. Yeah. But, like, saying, unless this nonsense about she's going chasing, what difference is that going to make? Like, that's what O'Leary said. She's going chasing next year anyway, so we'll run her in the Mares. Sure, the 2 races are within a half an hour of each other. You mean, like, on the same day? Yeah. So it hardly matters whether she's going chasing or not, does it? Yeah. You know, that kind of way.
I think his point was that she's not going to be trying to win 2 Champion Hurdles. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, the Mares Hurdle is like, I don't know. It's nothing in relation to the legacy of a mare. You'd rather finish placed in the Champion Hurdle than win a Mares Hurdle, in my opinion. For her breeding or whatever, like, they wanted. You're not going to be.
And the final point I'll make on this is for connections, and you disagree with me on this because we spoke about 2.5 mile novice chasers not having that race now, and you think they'll skip races for Aintree and that. But still, is it not massive? So you've Brighter Days Ahead, who could be 2 to 5 or 1 to 2 for a mare's hurdle on the day.
Yeah.
To have a horse who's likely to win a race at Cheltenham, is that more important than having a horse placed in a champion hurdle?
That might be okay for someone that's never had a winner there, but for people that have gazillions of money and have had loads of winners there already, what difference does it make whether you win the mare's hurdle or not? Do you know what I mean? You're hardly going to go to bed tossing and turning because you got finished second in the champion hurdle. There's no doubt in the world.
Michael could be in bed tossing and turning watching this at the moment, so he could.
Yeah, look, I think that they'll probably do the correct thing in the finish, but it should be taken out of their hands.
Yeah.
It should be taken out of their hands.
So 155 cut-off point, and you're talking January.
Yeah, I think so. Like, to me, if you go into another sport, if you had a really good woman's darts player, right? Say you won Fallon Sherrock, whatever her name is. If she was like, say, 4-1 to win the men's, the whole thing, right? So it comes to thing, and I'll decide a week before whether I'll play in the men's or I'll go for the women's when I'm a certainty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's rubbish, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
It's absolute rubbish. If she gets beaten in the semi-final of the fight, or, you know what I mean, or gets to the latter stage of it, or else she's up.
Johnny, that is a terrific analogy.
Oh, well, I don't know, but I try to think of some other sport, like, or maybe something that's played, it's eligible for the seniors in golf,
Yeah.
and we just say the Masters, and he said, I'm not going to bother, I'm going to play the seniors.
Yeah.
I'm not going, even though I'm about 7-1 second favourite for the Masters, I won't bother, I'll go and play with the old lads there, they're all about 75, and come home alone. You know what I mean? It's rubbish. And I do think the only way to do it is you put a rating on it, and I'd say 155, 156 will find it. If you have a look back through the years, it's the elite mares are above that mark.
Okay. And then we also have stumbled across a new nickname for Brighter Days Ahead, Fallon Sherrock. The Fallon Sherrock of horse racing, Brighter Days Ahead. Johnny thinks it should be taken out of the O'Leary's and Gordon Elliott's hands. And if she is rated over 155, which she is, she shouldn't be allowed run in the mare's hurdle, nor should Lossiemouth. That's Johnny Dineen's Joke of the Week. So that is it, folks. Well, almost it for our first episode of 2025. Now, Johnny, your Joke of the Week, you actually had 2 this week, so you did. You were like Frank Carson. You had 2 this week. So one that we're going to talk about now that's not your Joke of the Week, but you, like me, have a strong opinion on inspections. And obviously, in the last week, there's been massive talk on social media and people giving out about the inspection process. Even I know Chris Cook in the Racing Post has had his say on it as well. Where do you stand with inspections? So you're an everyday punter.
Yeah.
Racing is, after your family, the most important part of your life, yeah?
Yeah, maybe even in front of it at times.
Okay, hopefully you're not watching. So racing is massive to you. So where do you stand with people crying about the inspection process?
I think I can't get it. I genuinely can't. I think meetings should be given every possible chance to be on. Absolutely. And if they're called off at 20 past 12 for a 25 past 12 race, I don't mind if they've done their level best.
Absolutely.
But this business of you have to call them off at 7:30 because why? Because the guy at home wants to do the crossword because he's going nowhere anyway. As most of the people, like the bottom line is hardly anybody goes to the races anymore a lot of the time. So they get small crowds anyway. Like put it this way, Nace is on Sunday, so I have an option of half thinking of going. Look at the weather, said I'm not going to go up there. It might be called off. But at least I can stay at home and watch it at the same time. And they did their best to have it on, and somehow they got through the card anyway. You know what I mean? But it was a good effort by the people in Nace to get it
Fair
going.
play to everybody
But
at Nace,
look at the amount of entertainment racing provides for people that can go to the races. You know what I mean? Like that can see, and if it's called off, and like after Chepstow have to call off after two races on Sunday, like you understand those things. Like you know what I mean? And the bottom line is like. Or fellas are saying, I drove 3 hours to the meeting and it was called off, all this rubbish. Stay at home and watch them. You don't have to go to the races. You can stay at home and watch them. And if a meeting's in doubt, stay at home. Like, there was plenty of racing on during COVID. There was no one there. So you don't need people at the races.
And the people, who are crying about this, I don't hear jockeys or trainers whinging about meetings being called off really late. There was one owner I know and maybe one other one. But it seems to be punters at home who are whinging mostly, from what I can see on social. Would that be a fair comment?
I think so, yeah. Or like people at home that weren't going to be going there anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. My thing about this is they're on about, a lot of people are on about having, criteria for when a meeting should be called off or what's the reason for the meeting being called off and having a cut-off point. That to me is absolute nonsense because if you have an inspection at 7:30 on a Sunday morning, the difference between 7:30 and 9 could be massive. So at 7:30 the track mightn't be raceable,
Yeah.
especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Give it an hour and you're hoping the sun will come out. You don't know whether it will or not.
Yeah.
And if the sun doesn't come out, it's not raceable. And if the sun does come out, it is raceable. Imagine if you call off a meeting at 7:30 in the morning, a big meeting in Ferryhiss or Leopardstown or Navan or wherever, and you call it off, and next thing the sun is splitting the stones at 12:30 when the first race should be on, and you're going, oh my God, I can't believe we called that off. It's perfectly raceable.
I agree with you 100%.
And this is one of the things. I think racing, there are so many things that we need to make changes to in racing. There are so many things we can control in racing, and we don't do it well enough. This is just one of these situations, Johnny, where there's just nothing we can do to control weather and control inspections. I think clerks of the course and racecourse managers are doing their level best to provide a race day when they can. And I don't think there's people saying, they're hoping for a 25 to 1 shot and they know it's not going to be raceable, but they're just hoping for the best. I don't agree with that. Certainly not in Ireland. I know a lot of the clerks, I know a lot of the managers. They've been in this game a long time and they have common sense.
Yeah.
I think anyway, personally. I don't know what you think.
No, I agree with you. I think meetings should be given it. Like if I put on the thing and they say 8:30 Catrick inspection, right? Next thing's pushed back to 10, 11, 12. I don't
You have
mind.
no problem. Yeah, I have no problem either.
None whatsoever. They do the level best, and eventually, if it falls a bit away, they could have done no more than that. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Like put it this way: if I'm driving a truck, bringing horses to Catrick, like I'll get paid whether the horses run or not. Do you know what I mean? So there's nobody going to be really out of pocket. And the bottom line is, if owners say they have an option of ringing your trainer and saying, "Hey, Catrick, they're inspecting there. Leave my horse at home. I don't want him brought there.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for him to be brought there."
Yeah.
If they feel that way about it, but give the meetings. Like we had meetings and we had COVID racing where there was nobody there. You don't even need people. It's like racing is, as far as I can see, I think I might be right in this. It's the only sport that's on every single day of the week. So like there's no other sport that's on there's greyhounds as well. Yeah, but like on television every day of the week. So old people at home or whatever, or pensioners are going to get a kick out of watching the race. It's something to pass away the day. Do you know what I mean? So why? Because these guys want to call off meetings at 7:30 in the morning to deny that.
And just on top of that, there's this idea, this is racing. It's so amateurish. Typical racing, meeting called off 5 minutes. It happens in every sport, every single sport. How many times did you play football when you were younger?
Yeah.
Like how many times are you warming up out on a pitch and the referee comes out and he says, "Oh no, that's too frosty," or "There's a puddle over there, the game is not on." And it happens in big Gaelic football matches over here have been called off while teams are doing the warm up. So it's not just racing. No. It's every sport. It's just life.
I've been to young fellas matches where you get to a place at like 10 in the morning, it's rock, like solid, frozen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, the fella just opened the gate, like, no inspection, not next thing. Look, you couldn't play a match in that, you know what I mean?
Go home and watch the race, Johnny.
Actually, my young fella played a match today, it's very funny. It was desperate day now, freezing cold. It was up there, you know what I mean? It was, Jesus, I don't know how you played it. But anyway, it was like, our club are winning 1-0 anyway. And next thing, the other crowd equalised against the running play. But the next thing, this is about 5 minutes. I said, Jesus, extra time. It was a cup match. I said, extra time. Disaster. Mind who won or lost, but I didn't want to watch any more of it. And the next thing was, anyway, penalty. But my man, young fella, said, like, it wasn't even a penalty. I said the referee gave a penalty just to get it over with.
They scored.
Yeah, they won 2-1, but he said it wasn't even in the box.
Referee might be a racing fan, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say he was perished. I'd say, Jesus Christ Almighty, I couldn't stick it on a minute of this.
So to sum up then, on inspections and clerks getting a lot of flack and racecourse managers, we're basically saying,
the bitter end. Keep going till the bitter end, and look, do the best you can. And if they can't race, they can't race. End of story. But don't call them off at 7:30 in the morning. Anyway.
And it's just life, isn't it?
Well, it's only about a month in the whole year of 12-month period where there's any doubt. Like I would say one thing: if a meeting was waterlogged, say, right, and okay, you get to the meeting and it hasn't rained in between and it's still waterlogged. Then but when it's cold weather and frost and snow, that's a different story. And those things can dissipate. The snow can disappear, frost can thaw, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And they can maybe move bollards around things and patch things off and all that. Look, they do their best, and I think they should be given absolutely every chance. Yeah,
absolutely. I have to say, I think they're getting unfair flack over the last week. Finally, what's the plans for the week, Johnny? Any plans this week?
Very quiet. I mean, if we have anything to watch, I'd be like, This weather
What are you
now,
Netflixing on at the moment?
George Gently or something, is it?
Oh,
Yeah, that's as easy to watch now. You know what I mean? The good guy always catches the bad fella. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff at the finish.
Well,
But
you're still going. You haven't been
there's
caught yet.
the second, his sidekick is a good character, John Backus or something. Yeah, he's funny. He's actually he's a bit like myself now. He's a lot of my traits.
Oh, brilliant. And finally, Johnny, have you any New Year's resolutions? Anything that you kind of said, oh, I'm going to do that this year? You haven't been in the gym or anything, have you?
No. I tell you, I don't even, it's not a New Year's resolution, but I try to avoid having bad days on days I shouldn't be betting. And I had one already. Would you believe that? I had bad days Saturday and I shouldn't even be betting. But anyway, it was. And I lost me money, that all-weather stuff. You know what I mean? Got involved in listening to a few fellas and next thing. You know the usual stuff. But look, I'm trying to cut them out if I can. But I'm after failing already. Which anyway.
Okay. There you go.
As regards health, nothing. Zero. Drink as much Coke as I can.
Johnny loves his Coke, so he does. We went for lunch before Christmas, and I'd say we gave our order. And what did you get? You got a nice kind of pie, wasn't it? Some kind of pie.
Oh yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah,
I think I got
yeah.
a steak
I'll go
sandwich.
for it again in a minute, actually. I think. Yeah.
Are you going for it again?
I think I will. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And she took her order, and Johnny said, "I'll have a Coca-Cola." He always calls it Coca-Cola. He says, "I'll have a Coca-Cola." And the main course hadn't come yet, and she was like, "Could I get another Coca-Cola?"
Well, you have to specify Coca-Cola as regards as opposed to Pepsi-Cola.
Why is there a big difference?
Only Pepsi-Cola. Coca-Cola has to be Coca-Cola. Or they could bring out any kind of stuff. Or Coke Zero, it's awful stuff as well.
Don't like that?
No, the sugar-free stuff. No, it has to be the full Coke, yeah.
Full Monty.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So there you go. That is it for episode 9 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365. And don't forget, if you are having a bet this week, don't forget to gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford to lose. So until this time next week, I've been David Jennings. He's been Johnny Dineen. Thanks for watching Upping The Ante.